Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is the match preview to our home game this weekend against Plymouth Argyle. Of course, both sides struggling massively with both managers seriously under pressure. We sit ninth, 6 points off a playoff place. Absolutely disgraceful. And Plymouth are doing even worse, sitting in the relegation zone, 22nd place, after their relegation from the Championship last season. Everybody, I think for me, I'm surprised that they are down where they are. I think a lot of fans out there will be as well. But that's what it is. But before we do get into it, make sure you smash the likes on the video. It would mean a lot to me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment your thoughts down below on this game. I mean, look, it's a game that, we know. I've been saying all week, everybody out there is saying the same thing. This is a must-win game. There is no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no rubbish that's going to be told after the game of why we didn't win the game if we don't. We ain't going to take it. And the reality is if we lose this game, that ground will be toxic. Or if we start badly in this game, then the crowd will begin to turn and turn. If it doesn't get any better, because we've seen it for ourselves. It's all right, well and good, winning a game midweek in a meaningless competition with less than 1,000 fans there. But can you do it in a league match when there's going to be a lot more fans there? These players don't seem to be up to it, but also this manager, as I've already alluded to many times before, I'm not going to repeat himself, but this manager looks, he's completely out of his depth and he's clueless. He really is. So, yes, it's make or break for Grant, as I said. I just think we're going to get into it, but he has to win this game. What I believe that this is one game to save his job here now, because we've got a 2-week break coming up with the international break. Then, I think this is the time to get rid of him if we lose the game. And to be honest with you, even if we win, I'm not convinced about this guy getting his promotion. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on that, really. But I've been saying, you guys know what my thoughts are anyway. But yeah, but look, let's have a look at our opponents first of all. Then, so Plymouth, yes, obviously, I've made a surprisingly poor start to the season, as I was saying earlier, under new head coach Tom Cleverley. Find themselves in the relegation zone with just 13 points from their first 14 games. It has been absolutely dire for them as well. And like I said earlier, Cleverley is under huge pressure to get a result sooner rather than later. They have just managed 4 wins, 1 draw, and 9 defeats from 14 league matches so far this season. And their biggest problem is conceding goals. Yes, they've conceded 25. That is the most of any other League One club. So if you look at the other clubs that obviously are down there, look at Peterborough, Blackpool. You know what I mean? They're worse than those. So that it just kind of shows, that it is very, very poor from their point of view. But they do have their top scorer at the moment. Sorry, is Lauren Tolage, who of course signed from Port Vale. I think it was over £1 million when he went for. He's the top scorer with 5 goals, and he will be one that we need to look out for in this game, because if we defend like we have done in the past, it would help if we actually attacked and then, we went on the back foot all the time, which is why the defense have maybe been more exposed. But if we defend like we have done in the past, then he will take a chance if he gets it. So You know what I mean? That's the reality of it. So yeah, I mean, look at their Plymouth have got lots of injury issues going to this game. They've got 6 players out at the moment. Mackenzie, their club captain Joe Edwards, Benarous, Ameche, Caleb Watts, who's a player that I think is so good, isn't he, in that final third, and Julio Pleguezuelo. Blow me neck. Probably butchered his name there, but you know who I mean. Obviously, the very fast fullback that they've got. But yeah. So yeah, I think, look, Plymouth, they're struggling massively at the moment, like we ourselves, and I just don't. Obviously, they've still got some good players. I do like that Ballymunba, who was obviously on the wing for them. Obviously, Tolaj, I think he's a quality striker, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? In a struggling side, he's trying to do his best, of course, with the saves that he's getting. And yeah, I think they have got some good players, guys, and I think those two probably ones that stick out for me. And a former Town player returning back to our home is Jamie Patterson as well, who is on the books at Plymouth. So yeah, it'd be good to see him back, actually, won't it? I actually liked him when he was with us, to be honest with you. I think he was a good player. I thought he was, he chipped with a few goals and assists as well, and I enjoyed watching him when he were here. So yeah, obviously in the opposition camp this time, but yeah, I think he's a very good player and still got it. So he's another player that I think we should look out for as well. But I don't think we can just sit here and say, look, we're going to win the game, because it hasn't really mattered who we've played in recent weeks, has it, in the league? No matter who's come and played us, they've just been able to dominate. I mean, we dropped points against Burton, fresh that's in my mind at the moment. And they're down. They were down there towards the bottom. So it doesn't matter where we have to perform. And Plymouth, if they get a chance, then they will. They will. If they get a chance, then they will take their chances, because they've got a clinical striker up top. And if we don't perform, then they'll win. It's as simple as that. So I ain't going into this game underestimating them at all. No matter how bad it is in terms of how they are at the moment, it doesn't matter, because we're just we're in the same bad situation ourselves, and yeah, the pressure's on us. We're at home. I think the pressure's on them as well a little bit, but they're the away side, so I think there's pressure on both sides, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyway, I don't really know where I'm going with this kind of conversation, but we'll move on to our perspective then now. So yeah, look, I mean, as I've already just said, the pressure is well and truly on us as well. It really is make or break for Grant now, and I've said it many times. We have to win, and there is zero excuses if we fail to do so. And I think if we end up losing this game, as I said earlier, I think we could see very ugly scenes, to be honest with you, because we've had enough of watching the same dire football week in, week out. And like I say, we're at breaking point, to be honest with you. Yes, we're in the we won midweek. That doesn't mean anything. We have to do it in the league. Yeah. And that's the most important thing. So and that was our first win in how many games now? I mean, it's just ridiculous. We were on that 5-game losing streak in all competitions. 3 in the league, 2 in the cups. You know what I mean? It's not acceptable. And for me, we haven't seen it at all. We haven't seen it many times this season at all so far. But I want to see us start on the front foot. No tentative rubbish, allowing the opposition to settle. Get after them from minute 1. That's what we want to see. We want to see quick football, forward-thinking football, not going backwards and sideways to the goalkeeper and playing out from the back and all this. That Grant seems to think it's a good idea to do, even though we can't even do it properly. So we want to see something tomorrow. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see the same old rubbish that we've seen, down at the ground at home this season. We want to see something, and if we don't see something, then I think, like I say, it's the end of the road. But look, for Grant, so team news. I mean, look, more injuries to contend with this weekend. Surprise, surprise. Jolo will be out with a calf injury. He's very unlikely to be against Plymouth this weekend. Lloyd's hoped to be back available after the international break or shortly thereafter. So not a long injury layoff, but obviously still going to be out for a considerable amount of weeks, which I think, it is a blow, because I think Lowe has been a key player at the back for us, to be honest with you. And I think, he has looked a bit exposed at times, has looked a bit poor at times, but he's also done well. He's also done really well for me. I just don't think it helps the defence when they're just constantly under pressure, because that's the way most of our games have gone, because of the way we set up. But Lowe's going to be out for a little bit. May, obviously, we know he's suspended for this game, next 2 league games, but he's also picked up a lower leg injury, can you believe, which kept him out of the clash with Mansfield, because the suspension didn't apply for the cup game there. So he would have been able to play, but he's injured. Obviously, had a scan on Tuesday, and it's hoped he will be available back in training next week. So hopefully he's back, but obviously he's going to be missing the next 2 games, including tomorrow's game. So yeah. Gooch has picked up another injury, a calf injury. He had a scan on Monday. Didn't reveal any major damage from sources, but he obviously has been back in training. He's not been back in training this week, sorry, and it's hoped that he should be back available to play a part this weekend, but he might be available to play, but we don't really know yet. Along to the other injuries as well. What more? Kasumu's got a calf injury. He's not going to be back until the other side of the international break. Wallace, McGuane, Alves, Kane, Redmond are all, Alves, Kane, Redmond are all long-term absentees, of course. But yeah, so that's a little bit of the team news. But look, my lineup, I'm going to get it up now. Look, I'm going to just... This isn't going to happen, by the way, but you know what? As I do every time on this channel, I just do what I think is best. So my style lineup, I'd actually go for a 4-4-2. Let's go back to basics here. I want to see Goodman in goal, as you can see from the graphic now. I just think Goodman deserves to come back in, and I think he's been very harshly treated, to be honest with you. Yes, he's made a few mistakes, but you know what I mean? Nichols hasn't been completely error-free, but yet he's just all right to keep going in the team. So look, for me, Goodman gets back in. Probably won't happen, but that's what I want to see. Back 4 of Ruskin on the left. Balker. Balker's going to have to start, guys. We've got nobody else in that centre-back position. Yeah, to partner Feeney. We've got nobody else. So he has to come in. I don't know how long he'll be able to last, Balker, because we know that the lack of minutes he's had because of his consistent injury issues. But he needs to come in because, we haven't got anybody else and he's back. So, yeah, I can't remember if he played on Tuesday or if he was... he came on. I can't remember now. That game was just irrelevant to me. I just kind of checked out of it, to be honest with you. Sorensen on the right anyway. And then on the left, I want Miller. Obviously, Miller's really, really good. Obviously, he's one of our best players, to be honest with you. And he's always causing a threat. And, it's just shame he's always injured most of the time as well. But Miller, for me, very good option down that left-hand side. And good combination with Ruskin, to be honest with you, down that left. Do like those two playing together, to be honest with you, because they seem to gel very well and they seem to do well together as well. So, yeah. In the middle, I've gone for Harness because we saw what he did on Tuesday night. He looked better in that position than he has done it out on the wing. And again, because of the very, very limited options in the centre of the park at the moment, obviously we've got Voss, who is obviously one of our younger lads, still learning, of course. And I just think, whilst I may obviously put him in there, I'm never scared to put him in there. I just think maybe for a game that has so much pressure, I think I just don't think the younger lads have been helped that much, have they really, in terms of, the players around them just haven't been stepping up, haven't been showing any leadership. But yeah, I think Voss, we just need to kind of just manage him a little bit, keep bringing him on, you know what I mean, and keep introducing him slowly but surely, because I do really rate the guy. I think he's a really good midfielder. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, but maybe not ready yet to start regular league games, but he's getting closer. He's getting closer. I really, really do think he's a really good player. Ledson, obviously the captain has to come in and he has to perform because we haven't seen it enough. We need to see these leadership skills that he supposedly had when we brought him in. We need to see it on the field. So Ledson. And then on the right, I've gone for Ashia. I think Ashia, again, he has to start because he's proven what he can do at times when he's been. Look at on Tuesday night, he did well. And whenever he gets an opportunity, he always does something. He's an exciting player, gets you off your seat, and won't be afraid to take on his man. So, for me, attacking approach, get him on the right, and you know what I mean, let him do his stuff because I think he's a top player. Yes, he's still young as well himself, but I think is a player that a lot of fans out there want to see, and I'm the same one. I'm the same as well because the way his direct approach and the way he just gets at the defenders. We need it in the team, and I never thought I'd be putting these two strikers up front in the lineup. I never ever dreamed of. I thought I would be doing this. Yeah, putting Charles and Radulovic up top together. For me, look, Charles scored 2 on Tuesday. Yes, in a meaningless game, but he still scored 2 goals after going so long without scoring. Then you've got Radulovic, who scored in the last league game. And you know what I mean? He's showing that these two guys are scoring goals. Therefore, the likes of Taylor, who for me has to be on the bench, isn't scoring. He isn't doing what he needs to be doing. So that's why I've gone with these two, because I just don't see no other strikers are stepping up. May's out, Taylor's not scoring. So Taylor needs to up his game because he just doesn't look at it at the moment. But again, because we play so negatively, I'm afraid the strikers don't always get started. But sometimes, Taylor had chances this season, to be fair, and he hasn't taken them many chances. So put the guys up top who are scoring and see what they can do. So there we are. That's my lineup. So let me know what you make of this lineup and any changes you'd make to it as well. But yeah, like I said, the form coming to this one says it all for us in the league. 3 straight losses. Like I said, 5 losses in all competitions before Tuesday's win. It isn't acceptable. 6 points behind the playoff place. Huge pressure on Grant. And like I said earlier, if he fails to win this game, I think that will see the end of his time here. You know what I mean? Right before a 2-week break for the internationals. So that's how I see it. And I had to laugh. The fact he's already saying, where where we have to laugh when I saw a few of his quotes, Lee Grant, in his press conference recently, trying to justify the rubbish position we're in. You don't want your manager coming out and trying to justify how poor we've been, I'm afraid. No excuses anymore. There's no excuses to hide. We need to win this game. And there's no excuse for what we've seen before. So he can say all he likes, an under pressure manager, and he's trying to justify the rubbish position we're in. He's just absolutely, completely. He can't cope with being a manager. That's what the problem is. He looks completely out of his depth, and that's how I see it. So look, guys, let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we finally get a win on the board in the league, because that's exactly what we need. Otherwise, that ground will be toxic to the core, and it will be very, very ugly in there. Look at what happened last weekend with the Bolton game. The away fans there as well. At home, it's going to be 10 times worse if we fail to win against a fellow struggling side in Plymouth. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe to Thankyou, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But yeah, have a good weekend whenever you get. So we're back on Monday for the reaction to this game. Hopefully, with plenty of positives to say. But I'm kind of clutching at straws and being more hopeful and anticipating that will happen, because the evidence suggests that we aren't going to do under this manager. So we'll have to see. Anyway, take care. And as always, I'll always keep saying it, guys, because even if he wins this game, I'm still the same. Grant out. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.